Now, here are your hosts, Hank Davis and Mello Betts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the NFL Fan Podcast. It's Mello's NFL Weekly. I'm your host, former professional athlete, Hank Davis, and joining me, as always, he is our resident professor of sports and the gambling guru himself. He's Mello Betts. How are you, my friend?
Playoffs? Don't talk to me about playoffs.
I'm
doing good.
Don't talk to me about regular season. Apparently, I don't know how to pick them anymore.
Ooh.
That's my first losing regular season.
Well, from an experienced veteran of losing seasons, don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, just take it in stride.
Right. You'll be all right.
Take it in stride. That's why we preface entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Mello, lots to cover. You want to get right into the old news stories?
Let's do it.
It's time for the news, a roundup of all the biggest headlines.
All right. I think we should start out. I know there's some breaking news, but I want to start out with the federal judge who has often overseen NFL matters. Ruling on Monday, the NFL Players Association may not go forward with its claims of collusion in the uncapped 2010 season, which brings an end to the union's lawsuit. So the players had claimed the NFL conspired to hold down salaries in 2010 with a secret salary cap. So they had sought more than $4 billion in damages, Mello. Wow. And I remember us talking about this story back then. So it's taken this long to come to a resolution.
Ugh.
But as soon as they threw out that $4 billion in damages, you always know, whenever you see a lawsuit like that, you always know that we're just trying to get something.
Yep.
We know we can't get this crazy, insane number that we want, but maybe we can get our hands on something. And they come out of here with nothing. Are you at all shocked that they're getting zero?
Sometimes judges look at that and say, really, guys, when you throw out a number, I don't know, that lavish like that, it seems like you're asking for way more. And then just like what you said, that's the old throw a whole bunch out there. Maybe we can come away with a little bit out of this deal. And you get shut down sometimes when you do that.
Yeah, he gets shut down a lot of times, it appears.
With this judge, you do.
Yeah, he's like, I oversee this stuff. I already know what you're doing. Sorry, get out of here. But let's turn our attention to the main focus that's been this week, and it's the coaching carousel. Black Monday, as they call it. The Bears, Lovie Smith, Gandhi. Philadelphia Eagles, Andy Reid, Gandhi. Pat Shurmur of the Cleveland Browns, Gandhi. Buffalo Bills, Chan Gailey, Gandhi. Kansas City Chiefs, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Bye-bye.
Crennel. San Diego Chargers at, now they got to rename Fire North Turner Stadium now. Got to rename it now because it can't be that now. And then Arizona Cardinals. He wasn't such a whizzing hunt after all.
Bye-bye.
He's gone. So we see all these guys just get sanctimoniously dumped out of their respective organizations. Was there anybody in there that you felt like, man, already, or no, he shouldn't go, or anything like that?
Well, Shurmur only had, 2 years there? So, but that's how the bad ones, we've had this conversation before. That's how the bad teams do it. That's how they continue to stay bad. You got to keep changing everything up all the time so nothing ever really settles, Not that was the answer or anything, but you'll never know. With 2 years in an organization like that, that's not enough time. What did you say? 3 years you got to give a guy at least?
You easily have to give them 3 years. It would be in my contract. It would be some huge amount of money you have to pay me if you fire me before then, because it's ridiculous. You can't change the culture of losing. You can't turn that switch on, even with free agency.
Nope.
Because it's the organization. It's not just a group of guys put together. It's the organization from top to bottom. We're accustomed to taking, we just accept it. We know we're going to pick, in the top 5 all the time. And you know what I mean? You can't change that overnight.
No, you cannot.
So Lovie Smith was the one I thought was a little bit.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah.
That much tenure.
But I do see the point of we're the Chicago Bears. We believe we should be winning. More than just games, we should be winning the division all the time. We should be going to the NFC Championship game. We should be going to the Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah.
So I do see that.
That's one of those things where the guy has been there so long that he's already peaked. He's already crested with that Super Bowl appearance, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's, can we get back to that? Well, can we get back to that or can we win? We want to win a Super Bowl here. This might not be the guy for the job. And Lovey with his just, so laid back and stuff. There's been rumblings so that he's been on the hot seat for a few years now, and they finally made the step. But careful what you wish for. Sometimes it's a lateral move. Sometimes it's a backwards move.
And we've seen that time and time again where some owner thinks, man, I'm going to fast track it and get this all-star coach. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. And that's what I call the video game complex, really, on a lot of that. You just insert this piece and you get all the power meters and stuff that go with it. It doesn't quite work like that in real life. I wanted to say about Norvell Turner's 483 winning percentage. Now, for any coach, all coaches in the history of football that have coached over 200 or more regular season games, his 483 is the lowest of anybody. Took over a 14-2 team from Schottenheimer, and this is where we're at. Took over 2 years after Joe Gibbs left Washington, and what did he do there? I mean, this guy, he's had some chances at good jobs, and he didn't get it done. He's the one that surprised me that he's lasted this long.
Yeah, he always gets more credit than he deserves. He's a phenomenal offensive coordinator. If somebody plugs him in at that position, you have nothing to worry about, in my opinion.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask you, is because I'm sure he's going to get an offensive coordinator position.
Yeah, and he should.
Does he still have it, is what my question is.
I bet you he'll prove he does.
Okay.
But as far as managing everything, because people forget the definition of the head coach, what his responsibilities are and things of that nature. And some guys are not overseers on that big scale. And they're good at micromanaging some small sliver. But when you say everything, it's just not going to happen.
So does he resurrect one of these broken quarterbacks, or what are we talking about here?
I think he could do that. I think he would be good bringing in somebody young, too. I think he's really good on the offensive side of the ball. I think he knows his stuff. And when he has absolute control over that, he gets it done. There's several guys out there that are just awesome coordinators, but that's it. Just my opinion, though.
Okay.
So Andy Reid is in at Kansas City. That just breaking. We're recording at noon on Friday, the 4th. And so he's in.
That didn't take long.
Scott Pioli is out as GM.
Bye-bye.
Because I believe Andy Reid had something in the writing on the wall of saying, hey, if you want me there, I got to be able to put together my kind of, player personnel, people, that are going to oversee personnel and all that stuff. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of not starting off on the wrong foot with square pegs and round holes. Whenever I hear we've fired our coach, and now I've hired an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Oh, I'm going to get around to hiring a head coach, and he's going to be stuck with these guys. I don't like those kind of plans like that.
No, I wouldn't want to get stuck in that situation where I didn't have any say-so on, who else you're bringing in. Not good. Let's switch gears to Jason Garrett of the Dallas Cowboys, the head coach. Now, he seemed like he was walking a fine line the other day when he did an interview on the radio in Dallas, and he said that he was open to any kind of changes, including giving up play calling.
Oh, except for changes in head coach.
Personal foul.
Oh,
Unnecessary
dang.
roughness on that last comment. Automatic first down.
Can you envision me right now? My hands up in the air, pleading with the official.
Yes. Yeah, or screaming and having a vein come out of your neck. He had to be restrained and taken off the field. So, nice one, though. That was a good zinger. So he said whatever's best for Dallas, in every way, shape, or form. Anything and everything is on the table except for his job. We get you. So people forget this, but remember the Cowboys hired Bill Callahan as the offensive line coach last season.
Mm-hmm.
And he could, that's another guy right there that gets it. He's a great coordinator, not a good overall manager of a team. So do you agree? Could Bill Callahan, could he take over play calling and Dallas find some success?
Yeah, without a doubt there. But, everything runs through Joe, so he's the puppeteer extreme. So just a matter of him pulling the strings on both of these guys here.
I'm a real live boy. Bill O'Brien, he's going to remain at Penn State.
Well, good.
No, before everybody, now he interviewed with the Cleveland Browns, which, that's reason enough to stay at Penn State.
Oh, my gosh.
But before everybody goes handing him out the Good Guy of the Year award, I cannot substantiate this, but I have reports that a booster, it has allegedly kicked in $1.3 million to ensure that he stays at Penn State this year. At least this year.
Boost.
At least.
Whoa, baby, that's a boost right there now.
At least this season. So before you go handing out, what a great guy he is.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
The T-shirts that say, "Hey, he's the best guy we've ever had."
World's greatest coach.
Yeah.
Got the T-shirt and the hat.
Oh my goodness, Butt Chin University.
Is it true that when he got back to Penn State after visiting Cleveland that he got down on his knees and kissed the sidewalk?
He probably started crying. He probably like, "Oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what it's like in there." Oh my goodness. I love it. We're just jesting, Cleveland fans.
Yes, I love you guys.
Mello's a Cleveland fan for life with the paper bag and everything.
I got it. It's in the closet.
With the rest of your Cleveland gear.
I just break it out for games. That's all. In case somebody comes over, catches me watching them.
Now, also Chip Kelly from the Oregon Ducks. So their season is complete. So he is going to interview with Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Buffalo. Now, I have heard that Buffalo wants Lovie Smith.
Yes, I've heard that.
And I've heard that Philadelphia would love to get their hands on Chip Kelly. What do you think?
Oh, okay. If Buffalo gets Lovey, didn't they get Dick Duran from Chicago as well years ago?
Oh, my goodness. That's a good point.
It just tells you what they're kind of looking for, the defensive-minded,
Yep.
and run the ball, and that's the mindset there.
Yeah. But they should also understand that, wow, whatever we're doing isn't working, so we should probably just...
I love it. Wow, whatever we're doing isn't working. You don't get too many wows when you're talking about Buffalo. So. Hey, what we're doing ain't working. I can say wow to that.
Only on draft day, though, right?
Oh, boy. It shouldn't be that exciting for so many teams year after year that draft day is the biggest thing they got going.
And lastly in the news, Mello, Ray Lewis, he's a 17 and doneer. No, I'm just kidding. He's going to wrap it up after this season, and sources have indicated that he is on the verge of signing a multi-year contract with the four-letter acronym that I just cannot stand. So that would fit, though, because that's who they go get, Yep.
It caught me off guard.
But you kind of jogged my memory. We were just talking about how much longer could he play. a couple of months ago.
And then he got injured like the next week, and I was like, dude, you got bad karma for this cat.
I have bad karma allegedly for like all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Television shows.
Oh, that's right. You
everything.
can get them killed. Don't
Yeah,
you?
they have the Hank Davis curse. It's online. Not good. So I think it's been a great season for comebacks. And if he could come back and play in this playoff game, I think that'd be awesome. What do you think?
What I've heard is he could have played. He could have played a couple of weeks ago. Not management, ownership has shut him down. They knew that they could make it to the playoffs without him playing, and they were saving him for the playoffs. That came right from the top.
Wow. Okay. Well, they better do something. It better not be.
Yeah, they've
one loss.
saved their ace. Now you got to throw that sucker out on the table, baby.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, they saved their aces. All right. Mello, are you ready to switch gears to That's Not Football?
Always.
That's not football. And remember, folks, that That's Not Football logo t-shirts, they're available for sale if you head to NFLFanPodcast.com or TPENetwork.com. You got to check those out. Got to have the one that goes all the way across the front or just the small one that goes over your pocket. All right, Mello, I like to call this one Crouching Tebow, Hidden Sanchez.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. A vacationing Rex Ryan was spotted and photographed Thursday sporting a tattoo of a woman donning only a green jersey with Mark Sanchez's number 6 on it, posing in a way that would resemble a crouching Tim Tebow. So the shirtless Rex Ryan, he was in the Bahamas. He quickly left the scene with his wife after being approached by a reporter. Mello?
Oh, I'm stuck on him with his shirt off. Sorry, I froze for a second there. That's not football.
You froze and lunch started to bubble. Rams rookie punter Johnny Hekker might have a switch to QB in his future, Mello, if the numbers bear out. Hecker's 42 yards passing on 3 completions in 3 attempts gave him more passing yardage this season than Tim Tebow, who completed 6 of 8 for 39 yards for the New York Jets. Mello?
That is not football.
We got this punter. We want to really look at it. He can run the Wildcat.
We got 3 throws to go off of. Come on.
Maybe not the the litmus test, so to speak, but
Exactly.
Very professional nonetheless. Sticking with the Jets, a Dick's Sporting Goods store believed to be in New York recently released a picture depicting a group of mannequins dressed up like Jets players, all standing except for one. The mannequin with the number 15 Tim Tebow jersey is quietly seated alone on the bench. Mello?
That's so sad. That's not football.
Jim Schwartz and his Detroit Lions staff will be coaching the South team in the Senior Bowl on January 26th in Mobile, Alabama.
That ought to be dirty.
And Dennis Allen and his Oakland Raiders staff will be coaching the North team.
Oh, my God.
So you've got the Detroit Lions and their staff, Mello. This will be their 4th top 5 pick since 2007. And then you have a Raiders team that hasn't been to the playoffs since several years before this network was even thought of. So, Mello, what do you think about that?
I'm going to say what a penalty-filled game that's going to be, and that is not football.
Could you imagine this? Just pulling these players aside beforehand and going, whatever these guys show you or teach you, just forget it. Just pretend, just be like, yep, okay. And then just try to forget about it because they have 8 wins between them. Jeez, oh, man.
Not going to glean a lot from either side.
No. Seattle cornerback Brandon Browner didn't mind being forced to sit out the final 4 games of the regular season due to his suspension because he says It was fun watching his Seattle Seahawks continue to roll forward without him. Mello?
What a goofball. That's not football.
It was fun watching them.
What the?
Wow. He's amazing. The fabled tundra of Lambeau Field will be far from frozen when the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings collide in Saturday's NFC playoff game. Temperatures are expected to be in the teens when the game starts at 7 p.m. Lambeau's underground heating system will keep the ground and the turf mix from freezing below the surface. There's a network of plastic pipes containing antifreeze covered by a foot of sand. Mello, what would, first your part, Mello?
That's not football.
What would Lombardi say?
That's not football.
What would Lambeau say?
That's not football.
Oh my goodness. What would Bart Starr say?
That's not frozen tundra.
Oh, that is ridiculous. I did not know that.
The frozen tundra is just a fabled myth now.
It's
I'm so
fake.
sad.
It is fake. It's just like that time when I was 30 and my mom told me that Santa Claus wasn't real.
Oh, what a heartbreaker.
That crushed me. Ruined my childhood that I'm still in. And lastly, according to court documents that were obtained by TMZ, Terrell Owens was ordered to work at a Goodwill store in Studio City, California, for falling behind in child support payments to one of the mothers of his children, Kimberly Floyd. His volunteer referral form showed that he completed 8 hours of work between December 27th and December 28th. Ho, ho, ho. Mello?
That is not football.
Nope. That's Johnny Appleseed. Not football. Mello, I have one conspiracy sports moment of the week.
Let me grab my foil hat. Where are you? Oh, that's my Cleveland paper bag. That's not it.
That's not it. It's time for the conspiracy sports moment of the week. Oh, buddy. Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy nearly cost his team a touchdown by throwing a challenge flag on a play by the goal line that was likely already going to be reviewed. Luckily for Green Bay, wide receiver Jordy Nelson did his best to cover his coach's tracks. Nelson picked up the challenge flag and tried hiding it around his midsection while walking off the field. So Nelson apparently knew what McCarthy didn't, and that is coaches are penalized for throwing challenge flags on the field for plays that are automatically reviewed. The officials gave Green Bay a break and determined that McCarthy threw the challenge flag after they had already decided to review the play. So the Packers were only penalized 15 yards on the kickoff. I would think the Detroit Lions would have something to say about all this little bit of fiasco, Mello. What do you?
Yeah, Aikman was freaking out, saying that the Lions got punished for the same thing, and Joe Buck was quick to point out there was some little difference here, that the refs had already made their assessment of it. That was the difference in it. But I didn't see any difference in it. I think the Lions got screwed, and these guys get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I know I was on Twitter saying, wow, I guess it depends on what standing your team is at, because
it really is who you know in this business. So.
They're like, look, trust us. You guys want to pick in the top 5. Don't worry about it. You guys suck, Detroit, so you guys can bite the bullet. But Green Bay, this one's critical. Mello, should we move on to our picks against the spread?
Yes. It's that time.
Oh, buddy.
It's time to pick 'em. Remember, picks are made for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, like laughter. Like laughter and jokes. All right, Mello, it's it's the time of the season that you actually shine, and I usually don't do well at this, but I've already been not doing well. So how much? Oh my goodness, I'm afraid to wonder how much worse could it get for me.
You know what they say? It's the playoffs is a new season, so just wipe your mind clean and start from scratch.
Unless I'm Detroit, Cleveland, Kansas City, the Raiders, Buffalo.
It is the same team.
It's Groundhog Day. All right, let's do this. We got some Saturday football action.
Right.
Unfortunately, I won't be watching much of it. All right. At Houston, inside the confines of Barbecue Sauce Stadium, the Texans, they're going to lay 4.5 to the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Man, what an opportunity for the Bengals here, Mello, to not only make your way into the playoffs, but to get past this wild card weekend, make some noise and stuff. This would be huge for them. Huge for them. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think Houston is going to get this thing going. Cincinnati, I mean, if they could jump on them early, they could put Houston in all sorts of trouble. But I think Houston is going to at least get this game, and I think they'll win by more than 4.5. What about you, Mello?
I'm taking Cincy in this. Remember last year, these two teams, same scenario. These two teams faced off last year. Cincy did not get it done. Left a bad taste in their mouth. They've been thinking about this. They're not intimidated. I look for Cincy to play a pretty good game here. Whether they get the win, I don't know. But the 4.5 is just so juicy and succulent. I have to go with it.
All right. At Green Bay, this is like Groundhog's Day. The travel arrangements should be the same. So it's going to be the Packers. They're going to lay 7.5 to the Minnesota Vikings. And where have we seen this before? You know, conventional wisdom would say, wow, you just seen the game last week. You should know who's going, that it's going to stay within that range. But I don't think so. I think Green Bay is going to get after them. When you talk about making adjustments, a team throughout history that is synonymous with great coaching, I'm going to say Green Bay makes some huge adjustments, and Minnesota comes back thinking they can do the same song and dance that got them there, and it's not going to work this time. So let AP run all day, like they say, and Aaron Rodgers will take them by air, 7.5 plus. So I'm taking Green Bay. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Green Bay as well. Don't you just think it's time Green Bay just uncorks one? I mean, they've got the firepower to really unload, and they're at home. I'm with you on the Minnesota. They have been running the ball well for weeks now. You've got to think that can't just keep going on, that somewhere in there. I mean, I like Dom Capers, actually. So I'm saying he's going to have a little something for AP. Not that he won't get his yards and stuff, but I just don't see how when it comes right down to it, we're talking about a quarterback matchup. Give me Aaron Rodgers over Ponder or whoever else they got.
Yeah, please. That's not even a competition. At Baltimore, this is on Sunday, the early game. The Ravens, they'll lay 7 to the Indianapolis Colts. Man, with Ray Lewis going out of here, just part of me, my gut says that they could just throttle Indianapolis. But for whatever reason, man, Indianapolis is feisty. And I think they'll at least stay within the 7 points. I could be way off, and Baltimore unload one of those 40-7 beatdowns. But I think Indianapolis should at least be able to stay within 7. This has all kinds of media-friendly headlines. This is the owner left in the middle of the night and all this stuff. You know what I mean? You could make so many kind of headlines and jokes out of this. It's amazing.
Yes.
But I'm going to take Indianapolis getting the 7 points. Baltimore in their last several games, not impressive at all. And so where are you at on this?
Either it's indigestion or my gut is telling me that Baltimore opens up a can. Indy on the road outside their loud stadium on natural grass. A lot of rookie quarterback who's thrown almost as many interceptions as touchdowns. There's a lot of things not in their favor on this. I'm saying that place is going to be straight jacked. I think when you see how hyped up Baltimore is before the game, you're going to say, uh-oh, we're in trouble. If you're a Colt, that is.
Okay. Seattle, the Seahawks, they're going to come across country. They're going to lay 3 points at Washington. I tossed and turned on this game as well because Seattle, when you say rookie quarterbacks, which one's got more poise? Oh, that's a tough one. And then Washington's defense showed me some things last week. Can they scheme for one game against somebody? Yes, they can. I'm going to take Washington at home getting the points. I kind of like this play. Even though it's a little bit later in the afternoon, that time change shouldn't affect Seattle that much. I think Washington's ability to scheme for one game should make this one extremely interesting. And do you really want to go against RG3 getting some points at home? I don't know about that. Who are you taking?
Most favorable play on the board. Seattle's coming across the country. This game's a toss-up if you ask me. So the value is with the home underdog being Washington. That is, you're getting Washington with 3 points. I think if it was switched around, I would take Seattle getting the 3 points, actually.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whoever's getting those points is critical on this.
I'd say this was the only game that jumped out at me that you're getting value if you take the underdog for, certain value. I've done well with Washington this year, and going against them hasn't worked out so hot for me. So I just like picking them. And when I, when I see them as an underdog, it's an exceptional value that I just can't deny.
All right, Mello, did you have any type of numbers to go over this week?
I actually do. I'll give you I was 13 games over 500 for the season.
Yeah, rub it in.
53%, just 53% is all. But my best bets, first time ever, under 500, 47%. Big spreads covered at 45%. So my little trend there, cherry picking them, worked out well for me this year. But your home favorites for the year, you're going to be shocked with these numbers, buddy. 49%. Your home underdogs, 49%. Road favorites, 51%. And road dogs, 51%. Can you imagine they get right back to those pretty equal numbers there at the end of each season?
That is ridiculous. And then the thing is, you don't know when they're going to,
Yep.
when it's going to take place.
You just make a educated guess as you follow them through. You look for corrections within certain weeks, and actually this year I actually did hit on a few weeks where I was calling for the corrections on both those numbers and on the big spreads where they had to come back because it was just too low. They had to start covering a little better.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Did you have any other news stories that you wanted to discuss? Anything about the Lions or anything of that nature?
Martin Mayhew, the GM for the Lions, he did his going away, I guess you call it, the end of this crappy season speech there, and he flat out said didn't have playmakers on defense this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's going to make some friends.
Sue, Delmas, all your linebackers and stuff. But this is the guy that, decides whether you're on the team or not. So I guess he can say whatever he wants. And he said that there is no problem with him and Schwartz because a lot have been coming out of the local media that they are not getting along because Schwartz does not appreciate getting stuck with a bunch of criminal players or something to that effect. Give me somebody that can stay out of jail long enough to play for me on Sundays and such as that.
Somebody that can stay off the rap sheet.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, my goodness. That's funny. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Mello, and great regular season. I hope it translates into the postseason for your picks.
Oh, remember last year I got off to a terrible start for the playoffs, and the year before that I got off to a great start. Yeah, so where are we at this year?
The year before you almost went undefeated in the playoffs. True. That was awesome. Awesome thing to witness. All right, folks, I hope you guys all enjoy the weekend games. And your team wins. That's what I hope. Somehow, some way that pans out for you. But for Mello Bets, I'm Hank Davis. Until next time, my friends, we're signing off.